Statistics show that among the top 3 causes of death in our society, diseases rank the highest. This video will be covering the top 8 deadliest diseases in history. The ranking in this video was done in reference to the amount of deaths caused. Do well to subscribe to this channel and check out our other videos to learn more about the world we live in. Thank you. Number 8. The Ebola Virus disease. The Ebola virus disease signs and symptoms start between 2 days and 3 weeks after contracting the virus. It starts with a fever, sore throat, muscular pain, and headache. Vomiting, diarrhea, and rash usually follow, along with decreased function of the liver and kidneys. The disease has a high risk of death, killing 25% to 90% of those infected, with an average of 50%. Death is usually 6 to 16 days after symptoms appear. It is spread through direct contact with body fluids from infected humans or animals. The most recent outbreak of the Ebola virus disease was in 2015. It ripped the lives of 11,325 people out of the infected 26,000 people. In 2018, the virus took 2,000 more lives. Number 7. Meningitis. Meningitis is an acute inflammation of the protective membrane covering the brain and spinal cord. The most common symptoms are fever, headache, and neck stiffness. Other symptoms include confusion or altered consciousness, vomiting, and an inability to tolerate light or loud noises. The inflammation may be caused by infection with viruses, bacteria, or other microorganisms, and sometimes by certain drugs. In 2015, this disease affected 8.7 million people and 379,000 people died of it. In 1990, there were 464 recorded deaths due to meningitis. Number 6. The SARS disease. The severe acute respiratory syndrome is a viral respiratory disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, the SARS-CoV or SARS-CoV-1. Within 2002 to 2004, it led to 8,098 cases and 778 deaths. It has only a 9.5% chance of death. No cases of the SARS-CoV-1 have been reported worldwide since 2004. In 2019, the virus strain SARS-CoV-2 was discovered. This new mutated strain brought about the COVID-19 pandemic. The symptoms include fever, muscle pain, lethargy, cough, sore throat, and may eventually lead to shortness of breath and pneumonia. The WHO declared the outbreak of COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern on 30th January 2020 and as a pandemic on 11th of March 2020. Since then, the virus has led up to 600,000 deaths and 15 million cases, out of which 60% have recovered. Number 5. The malaria disease. This mosquito-borne disease has symptoms by which include fever, tiredness, vomiting, and headaches. Although this disease seems docile in some cases, in severe cases it can cause yellow skin, seizures, coma, or death. The symptoms usually begin 10 to 15 days after being bitten by an infected Anopheles mosquito. In 2018, it affected 228 million people and caused 405,000 deaths. Approximately 93% of the infected cases and 94% of the deaths happened in Africa. Number 4 is the Dengue Virus disease. The Dengue Virus disease is a very deadly mosquito-borne tropical disease caused by the Dengue virus. The symptoms begin 3 to 14 days after infection by an Aedes mosquito. Those include high fever, headaches, vomiting, muscle and joint pains, and skin rash. Recovery generally takes 2 to 7 days. In some cases, however, it develops to severe dengue, resulting in bleeding, low level of blood platelets, and blood plasma leakage. It affects 390 people per year and leads to 40,000 deaths a year. Beloved explorer, having watched up to this point, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Number 3 is the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu is a very popular disease, and it was an unusually deadly influenza pandemic caused by the HNI influenza A virus. It lasted from February 1918 to April 1920, and in this short period of time, it infected 500 million people. At that time, this was about a third of the world's population. The death toll is estimated to be somewhere between 17 million and 50 million. The symptoms were sore throat, headache, and fever. In some cases, bacterial pneumonia, and in rare cases, heliotropic cyanosis, whereby the skin develops two mahogany spots over the cheekbones, which would then over a few hours spread to color the entire face blue. After this, death would follow in a few hours. The second deadliest disease on our list today is the Black Death. The Black Death, also known as the pestilence, the great mortality, or the plague, has been recorded to be one of the deadliest diseases in human history. The Black Death resulted in the death of up to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. The plague originated from Central and East Asia, from which it was spread to other parts of the world. It was spread by fleas living on the black rats that traveled on the Genius merchant ships. The signs of the plagues were headache, painful aching joints, nausea, vomiting, and in some cases, the appearance of buboes in parts of the body and acral gangrene of the fingers, which caused the flesh to die and turn black. This leads us to the deadliest disease on our list. The smallpox existed for 3,000 years and was one of the most feared diseases in human history. The disease is caused by a virus called variola, and the last naturally occurring case was diagnosed in October 1977. The risk of death following contracting the disease was about 40%, with higher rates among babies. Often, those who survived had extensive scarring of their skin, and some were left blind. The symptoms were fever, vomiting, mouth sores, and fluid-filled blisters. The duration of the disease in the body is 4 weeks. In the 18th century Europe, 400,000 people per year died from the disease. Smallpox is estimated to have killed up to 500 million people in the last 100 years of its existence. As recently as the 1960s, 15 million cases occurred every year.